it's been a hot minute. I meant to do at least one other video. Like, the whole plan was coming into the new year, I was gonna do this video. I was gonna like tier list every new movie I saw last year. It was like 45 films that were new last year that I saw. I was gonna talk about all of them, and I filmed it. I got around to that. It took a long time to get. I did the first like 2/3 of it, and then it took forever for me to get around to be able to do the last third. And by that point, we were rapidly approaching March. And like after like 3 months into the year feels like, for me, is like a cutoff. Like I'm not getting in and continuing to talk about last year at that point, right? So I needed to get the video out before then. And I just couldn't do it, man. Rough semester all around. I also got so into Has Been Hotel, I just could not bring myself to care about anything else. Like, that autism gets in the way of things sometimes. It sure did there. But it is what's letting me do this now today. I am here. I'm going to talk about this Helluva Boss, like, second half of season 2 trailer, because I really want to talk about it. So it's really late. I'm finally doing another video. Ignore, I'm in an entirely different setup because whatever, like, ignore it. We don't care. I want to talk about this trailer, so I'm going to talk about it. I have a lot of ideas about what to, like, I just want to go over what I think is going to happen, what I expect for the rest of the season just based off this trailer. And yeah, that's about that. Let's start actually not at the beginning. Man, I wish I could get rid of the bars on the side. Can I do that? Oh, well. I can't get rid of the bars. We're not going to worry about it. So, there's 5 episodes, right? And I do think this trailer shows us, like, I think we can predict largely what is happening in each of these. Like, I think we've vaguely known what's happening in the full moon for a while. We know Stolas is going to give this crystal over, and it's probably going to go down poorly. Like, we've understood that that's largely going to be the plot of the full moon. Apology Tour, I'm pretty sure we've known Verosika's going to be in it. Like, I don't think I think that's the extent of the information we've known, but, like, that also tells us plenty about the episode that can be presumed anyway. Like, obviously, we're going to get more Verosika side. We're probably going to get a better understanding of what exactly happened between her and Blitz. And by the name Apology Tour, I would hope Blitz is going to apologize to her. Like, as it stands currently, it seems like he's largely entirely in the wrong. We might find out more. We might find out other aspects of what exactly went down. But, like, he seems pretty in the wrong. So, we'll get to that. The other 3, Ghostfuckers, Mastermind, and Sinsmiths, I don't think we've ever had information for. I don't think we have any. And I wonder if that's also part of why those ones are significantly later on in the year compared to Full Moon and Apology Tour. I have other thoughts about that as well, but I should probably get actually analyzing before we do that. But yeah, but I think we can presume, right? And I'll get into off the trailer. Ghostfuckers is clearly going to be Blitz and Millie going to this ratty hotel, having some run-ins, whatever. Like, we can see what in the trailer is definitely from that, and some other things that I think are from it. Mastermind, I think, therefore, also then must be the Dorks and Cherub episode. I don't know, like, it just seems weird for them to be in any of these other episodes. Like, what's going on if they appear in Apology Tour or something? Like, that'd be so random. And that one we can largely figure out, I think, what shots are happening then. That episode seems to be the one that's most removed from what I presume is going to be this continuing to on. We're going to really get into a lot of this Blitz and Stolas stuff. And I think the other episodes are all going to cover that to some level. I don't know about Mastermind. I guess we'll see. It does have something important to point out that I'll get to. Sinsmiths is interesting. Trying to figure out what in the trailer is from that. Other than, it does seem likely that that's the one that's going to deal with the fallout of Ozzy revealing that he's in love with Fizz. Like, that seems to be the one. Like, there's a shot that it looks like Satan's there. That's probably what that one is. I'm interested. So, I forget where else I was going with this point. I'm just gonna start from the beginning again and start going through this to talk about thoughts I have, because it's some big ones. So let's go.
Come out! We've got you surrounded!
Where are we going?
Anywhere but here. Get ready for a life on the run, gang.
Okay, so funny bit first of all, but also, a thing I find interesting. I'll let Maki do this one.
I fucking hate you so much, Blitz.
So, that beginning part is obviously must be Mastermind, right? Like, that's Dorks. But I don't think that next bit is from that episode either, which is interesting, because hold on a second.
Business has actually hit a peak, and
this looks like the crashed vehicle. But this is obviously the Ghost Fuckers episode. So, I'm assuming it's earlier in the episode that they're doing this we have to run. Why? That's confusing. I could be wrong, I suppose. Like, I don't know. That's strange to me. I'm confused by why the colors look like this. There's a lot of questions. I'm ignoring what Blitz is holding in his hand. He's an interesting ghost hunter, clearly. I wonder why they're ghost hunting also, you know? I don't guess, actually. Anyway.
And it would be disastrous to lose what we work for now.
We're ignoring the fizz shot. I think that's from Full Moon, which I'll talk about on a different shot later. The Stolas shot, also obviously from Full Moon. This Moxie line is interesting, because I'm curious what circumstances are having him saying that. Why would he be saying it's disastrous? I guess if they're being, like, threatened or something, that might be the case. Like, that very well could be Ghost Fuckers or Mastermind. Like, there's something where it's like, oh boy, ugh. Interesting. This shot, also, I assumed, like, they're in the Lust Ring, and there's several others where they're having a fight in the Lust Ring, which would kind of have made me assume this would be related to Ozzy and Fizz and whatever, and it'd be like that. But I don't think so, actually, because other people have pointed out it's a shot later on that we'll get to. But it makes me really curious why they're in the Lust Ring, and which I'll talk about when I get there. So let's move on a little further.
So why would a...
Wait, hold on, right. So, this one is really interesting. Because they still have the book. Full Moon is the next episode with the crystal. What, like, so surely this has to be at the beginning of Full Moon, right? Like, that must be it, right? Because it would be weird when you've introduced the crystal for them to continue using the book. Like, regardless of, even if Blitz and Stolas were on the best terms possible, like, literally married or something, why you wouldn't still have Imp still using the book. Like, now when you have the crystal, so you don't have to worry. Like, Stolas does need his book. Like, he uses it for things. Like, it'd be weird for them to continue having it. This has to be beginning of Full Moon. Which is also just, that seems strange to me, just because I'm pretty sure at Level Up, it's not like I went or anything, but the whole panel, they started with the duet. And I think they said the duet starts off Full Moon. And it very well could start it off, and then it's just that Blitz gets up to some shenanigans later, and then we do other stuff before we finally get to the stuff that's gonna go down, I suppose. The exchange, I guess. I don't know what words. Anyway. So I guess either the duet doesn't actually start off or this happens after. Not that that's super important. It's just interesting that we have a shot of them using the book, because there is a shot of Blitz using the crystal later. So it seemed worth pointing out. Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Would a bunch of angels be looking for demons?
I just called this, and not that it's hard to call that these two, like, groups, I guess, would be working together, because it makes sense. You know, you have one inherent, like, they're just on Earth. Dorks they wouldn't be anywhere else, and the Cherubs got stuck here, and clearly would want some kind of revenge. So it makes sense that they'd work together, and I'm glad they are bringing it back around like that, because for how much of the story doesn't have a ton to do with their actual job of going and killing people on Earth, it would, if you had these two, if you had Dorks and you had Cherub, and you had separate things dealing with them, like separate episodes, I could see that starting to feel like things are bloating up a bit. It does make me curious where things are going to go from here, because this kind of feels like a concluding sort of thing for these groups. It feels weird to call them groups because it's only 5 total people, but right, because when we know Helluva Boss is going to have 4 seasons, so this being like kind of a big ending thing feels big, and like this could feel like a climax for this whole dealing with these earthly bound entities. Group still feels weird. That one's worse though. Whatever. I'm just interested in that. I'm interested where that, because I assume it's Mastermind, is going to go, and how that's going to carry forward, like when we're getting into season 3 and season 4 in the end and whatever. Like, I'm curious how that's going to go. I think that's all I had to say about it. I'm going to click again.
Wait.
Oh, wait. I'm actually really interested in, like, Cletus and Keeney are obviously very big on they probably want to kill Blitz and the others. But Colin does not seem like in the Cherub episode, he's not like as angry as the other two. He's not super, I don't know. He always seems very sheepish, which that is a pun on purpose. And I'm just curious how I'm assuming that's going to play in. I assume that's going to play into this somehow. And I'm just interested to see that play out. I'm interested to see what, if anything, like, develops with this character. I wonder if they're going to kill any of them. Probably not, because you need angelic weapons, but whatever. It's interesting. I assume you need angelic weapons, right? They still count as angels, surely. They're just weird, like, small angels. Has-Been invites other questions, but we're moving on.
For them to return to Earth.
Okay, yeah, here. Blitz with the crystal. So he does take and use the crystal, right? Which I have seen people being like, oh, but what? He has it. Oh, boy. Like, yeah, he has it. Like, he doesn't have to, like, if Stolas, he can't do his job if he doesn't have a way to Earth. And if Stolas, like, if we assume the worst, Stolas kicks him out, whatever, doesn't see him anymore, which isn't going to happen, obviously. But even if we assume that, Blitz would obviously just continue using the crystal. He'd take it and use it. Anyway, I think people are silly about that. Moving on.
So we might smite them once and for all.
Okay, there's a few things here. First of all, Lust Ring, and this looks like Agent 1 in some stupid as hell looking suit. I don't know why it looks like this. It's so stupid looking. It's interesting they build a portal to hell, evidently. And also, why are they in the Lust Ring? I'm very curious why the gang is in the Lust Ring. Or at least we see shots of Millie, Moxie, and Luna in the Rust Ring. Oh, Rust Belt moment. I'm curious why they're here. And why are they fighting here? What is the point of this stupid as hell suit? But also, like, there's this missile thing, and like, I think it's fired at Millie or whatever, yeah. So, but you go back to earlier, this shot, it clearly looks like they're in their office, or like outside the office, whatever, window, and a missile's being fired at them there. So, do they go to the Lust Ring after this? Like, I don't know. It's not a big deal or anything, but I'm kind of interested in what the circumstances are. Also, I really like the expressions here. Like, these are very, like, well-done expressions of terror. Like, Blitz, this is some of the most scared he's ever looked in his life. That's crazy. Also, Luna, like, just well-put-together shot.
We could use someone with more experience.
I'm also... What on earth is that line about? Because that's Agent 2. Is she talking to the Cherubs? Why would she be saying that to the Cherubs? That doesn't make any sense. Also, there's a funny freeze frame that's just blue. Blue. That was weird. I'm moving on. It really gets super blown up. Oh, she goes... I didn't even notice. That's kind of funny. She goes flying into there. Oh, hey, that's a better shot. So this is designed to look imp-like. That's interesting. Huh. Cool. Yeah, this is obviously the Ghost Fuckers episode. Oh my goodness. Blitz is so stupid. He's so
See you, folks. We've been having more disturbances that are killing my guests.
So, I'll comment on Blitz and Drag later. So this... I never noticed that. Okay, this is interesting. Because a lot of people point out, this looks like Chaz's hand. And here's the thing. Chaz is like a shark guy, and it's clearly a fish demon guy from Envy who's going to be the Ghost Fuckers, like, villain, I guess. So obviously they could have similar looking fingers. But it would be really interesting if this is Chaz. Obviously not like literally Chaz. I'm going to presume it's this possessor demon. I think the whole plot of this episode is going to involve a lot of hallucinations being used to torment largely Blitz. But that's why I think it'd be interesting if whatever this guy is starts by trying to use Chaz against Millie. Because I think it would prove to not work at all. Like, Millie is not the one to target with emotional torment. Blitz is the weak link in that regard. So that's what I think is going to happen, is he's going to start trying to target Millie, be like, oh, okay, and then switch to Blitz, because that one's going to work way better. So it'd be really interesting if this is Chaz. Eric Schwartz, I think like at a panel thing or whatever, said he did another session for Chaz, which I could very well be one of the shorts. I do hope there's a Chaz short, because I think that would be fun. But I do kind of hope this is Chaz, because that might mean we'd finally actually get to learn a little bit about him and Millie. Because that's one of my things with that episode, is it feels set up like we're going to learn at least something about them, right? And we never do. We get the whole stupid backstory for him and Moxie, but nothing for Millie. I want to know what went down with Chaz and Millie, because Millie hates his guts, hates them so bad, and I'm really curious to know more about that. So I do hope this is Chaz. Also, this guy is cool. Let's see. Yeah, well... Okay, looking at his fingers here, it very well might be his fingers in the other one. Is there another shot of it? No, we just get...
Dead cocksleeve! Prepare to get sucked off to the astral plane, bitch!
He's so stupid. Like, look at this... go back. Please look at this fucking idiot. I love that he's in drag again. That was actually one of my points. We get Moxie in drag so often. I wanted Blitz in drag again. Can we... Go back. He's kind of fine in it, honestly. It's great. Some people were saying it is kind of funny he has vaguely Charlie-esque hair when they're in the hotel episode. I don't think that's on purpose. I don't think it's meant to be the implication. Whatever, it's funny. I think people have pointed out his legs here. What's going on? Because, what's with all the white? Because that's scars, usually. Except, and I don't think it's in the trailer. It's in, the, like, phone recordings people got of the duet at Level Up. You can see his legs because there's multiple shots of him wearing, like, nothing. And you can see his legs, and he has scars on his legs, like lower down on the lower leg, which are clearly not present here. I think there's other shots that show it well, too. They're clearly not present here. So, he might not have gotten new scars, like, all down his legs. He might just be wearing pants that, for some reason, match his skin color and his scar color. I don't know why he's doing this, but, like, that would make more sense than... Because this happens after... This is Ghost Fuckers. It happens after Full Moon and Apology Tour, and I just don't understand what major, like, hugely scarring accident he would get into in those episodes prior to Ghost Fuckers. Because there's no way also Ghost Fuckers would start off with that, right? Like, so I'm assuming he's just for some reason wearing confusingly colored pants or leggings. Not leggings. Nope, we're sticking with pants. Instead of some strange, massively scarring accident. Also, it is funny, also, the Barbie doll, like, just, we see, like, direct crotch shots, but nothing there. It's funny to show that. Anyway, funny bit from Millie.
Blitz, they aren't ghosts, these are just shriveled humans. No offense.
Where is
that? Okay, hold on. I'll go back. This is obviously... I think this is from the duet, actually. Stolas, oh, Full Moon, uh-oh, oh, geez. Whatever, hold on. Man, I hate... Yeah, I think this is from the Lust Ring fight, right? Yeah. What? So... Is Luna picking up Moxie there? That's hard to tell. I can't get rid of the stupid things off the top bit and the bottom. It's so annoying. Stupid screen recorder. I'm moving on.
Where is Stolas anyway?
We need to summon him at once.
Okay, Verosika.
Oh, Andrelphus. I'm excited to get more Andrelphus because he has such an annoying voice and it's really funny. It's cool. This is the Harvey Gillen bird. I love you. I think I've expressed pretty handily in other videos. I love Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So it's cool to have him in something. In this. It's cool that he's here. I think it's fun to repurpose one. Because I didn't watch the Has Been pilot, but I know this bird design was in it as one of the overlords. It's cool he's been repurposed into a Goetia. Because he looks more like a Goetia. It's funny he was ever an overlord. Also, can I... Shoot, I want to look at... It's interesting... I presume these are all Goetia, but they're not all birds, and I kind of just assumed they were all birds from before, but I guess not. I mean, we still have... How many birds? 1, 2, 4. There's 4 birds, a goat, a snake, and some sort of big cat. So that's interesting. They seem... I assume it's all Goetia, though. It'd be weird if, overlords are here. Why would overlords be relevant to whatever it is that's going on? It's hard to tell exactly, because, yeah, we should summon Stolas, and I'm gonna talk about...
Stolas anyway.
We need to
I'll talk about the robed Stolas
summon
later.
him at once.
Okay, Visago. He's so stupid. I'm excited that a lot of people, these two should kiss, because that's gonna be fun. Also, it's so funny to me that people out of nowhere waiting for any news on Full Moon were like, hey, what if this bird from the Has Been pilot's actually Goetia? And it appears and there's tension with Stolas. And it's like, how did you guys predict this guy was popping up? How did you literally out of nowhere just randomly decided to talk about this? And it ended up being semi-true. What? How? It's cool he's here. I don't think that's what's going to happen. He seems friendly. This is 2 lines. He seems friendly. Viv did say, and one of the other people who works on it did, we're he's a good boy. We promise. Please be nice to him. Whatever, that sort of thing. I forget what the tweets are exactly. But, I assume generally a lot of them are going to be, chill towards Stolas. And it's Andrelphus who's going to be trying to do some pot stirring, which comes back in other shots later. 2 things here also. This funny little, on the glasses, that's a funny little bit on the glasses that I didn't notice before. And is Andrelphus, floating on an ice thing in the middle? He doesn't have arms, which is funny. What is going on here? What is the circumstance? Because also, as people have pointed out, I'd have to skip, let me see if I can, get back to the shot.
Where is Stolas?
Again, stuff's blocking it, but there's apple and snake motifs, which is Lucifer, obviously. So where are we? This comes back up later, too, because there's 2 shots. There's one of, presumably, Satan and Mammon, who look like they're also here. So obviously, I think this is Sinsmas. I'd be surprised if it isn't Sinsmas. The Sins are probably going to be in Sinsmas anyway. I assume this is also in it, and not, an earlier thing that just happens to be in the same place, That wouldn't make sense.
Anyway,
we need to summon him at once.
Okay, Verosika.
This transactional thing we have, it's not right anymore. It hasn't been. I just want someone to care. I want someone to want me.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna hurt. That first line, he's obviously saying it to Blitz. Can I skip back to it properly?
Verosika.
So, obviously, this is outright, he's finally talking to Blitz.
Transactional
But
thing we
the
have.
next line...
It's not right
Okay, also, this is from the duet, I'm pretty sure.
anymore. It hasn't
these
been.
are,
I
definitely.
just want someone to care.
Blitz and his stupid fucking candle, man. It's so big. Why did he get such a huge candle? He has 5 wicks on one candle.
I want someone to want me.
That line is interesting to me. Because also, I think this is from the duet. Hold on. I think this is from the duet. I don't think he's not saying that there. They just vaguely matched the lips. I don't know if he says that to Blitz. He obviously doesn't say it after the first line. Those are just put next to each other. I'm curious if he's saying it to Blitz, because it feels like if Blitz heard that, he would understand what Stolas is doing in this situation. Like, I feel like there wouldn't be this kind of misunderstanding there's gonna be a lot of fallout here. And I feel like if Stolas said this to Blitz, said, I want someone to care and want me, Blitz would understand. I think so, at least. So I don't think he's saying it to Blitz, which does make me wonder, who is he saying it to? Because if he's not, I don't think he's saying it to Blitz, but I don't know that I can guess who he is saying it to. It's interesting. There's another, let me go further. Yeah, this is definitely the duet. Stupid candle. Oh my goodness, man. This is gonna hurt, because Blitz is clearly so excited to see Stolas again. Because they haven't had their usual arrangement for, like, a fair bit of time. This episode's gonna hurt really bad. I'm probably gonna cry. This is interesting. And it's gonna be more interesting when we see something later. But Stolas is clearly, like, this, I assume, is Apology Tour. I think he's having a big old song that's gonna be, like, I don't think it's gonna be directly about Blitz at first. I do think he's gonna be singing about his woes, and it's clearly a whole thing. He's got a whole stage nonsense thing going on. I like the outfit. I'm not sure about the things off the head going off the side, but overall it's a fun outfit. I like it. I'll say more on Apology Tour after we get some more shots from it, actually. But actually, yeah, we have
I want someone to want me.
You fucks think you can do this every time. Like you can just play with our feelings because we're smaller and not as important.
A lot of people wondered if perhaps that wasn't from, man, dude, this shot too. I'm curious when this is going to pop up exactly. I assume it's going to pop up in Full Moon. Maybe. I'm curious. Actually, I'll elaborate on the idea I'm having at this moment in a bit. But man, dude, it cuts between them. It's a full heart on his head, but then here it ends up broken. Like, that sucks. This is awful. This is painful. And also, it's Stolas is pulling away. And actually, I like the visuals here. Stolas pulls away and Blitz leaves. And that's when Stolas here gets, like, kind of sad. And I think it's because, the whole thing is Stolas wants Blitz to choose him. He doesn't want to feel like he's forcing Blitz into something. And he's going to feel awful that Blitz, I assume, isn't going to... Clearly he's not, because Blitz... A lot of people thought Blitz maybe isn't yelling at Stolas in this moment.
Play with our feelings because we're smaller and not as important.
I think he is. This shot's also he probably goes home and cries on the couch. I think he is yelling at Stolas. It is an interesting line because it does imply some other animosity towards royals that we haven't seen from Blitz otherwise. There's like a little bit. Like, it's a little bit of it is there, but I'm just curious if we're going to get more about that. If we're going to learn more about why Blitz and even Stryker, like, both feel this way. Because that feels like we're eventually going to get it, right? It's been teased with Stryker many times over that he has some kind of history, that he feels this way for a reason, and we haven't gotten it yet. And I'm curious, we're probably going to get that. Curious about Blitz as well. It's interesting. Let me go back. I can't talk about this yet. We got to get a little further before I can talk about this robe scene. Because I have thoughts. Also, I like the little curtsy Stolas hits here. He's so pretty, man. This shot is interesting. Because obviously this is Blitz with his mom. And, like, I hate seeing Blitz cry. But and I'd have to find another shot. But the background is interesting because the floor matches... It looks like, at least, the pattern of the hotel they go to in Ghost Fuckers, which makes sense. And, like, obviously, like, there's a shot later of Millie that's clearly, at least I think, is clearly a hallucination being used against Blitz. And I think that's what a lot of that episode is going to be. Either while he's being possessed or it part of getting him possessed, he's going to be tormented by hallucinations of people he cares about being used against him. And one of them, it seems like, is going to be his mom, which is definitely a way to torment Blitz, like, for sure. Man, and part of why, we'll get there.
And not as important!
You are a disgrace.
Yeah, so this must be Satan, right? And they do this thing, right, where they have this cut to this. This is obviously not the same. They put these together. It's obviously not what's actually happening here. And actually, this is probably Andrelphus. I'm interested in this, because this is Sinsmith, Stolas clinging to Blitz while Blitz has a sword. He's never used a sword. Where did he get a sword from? That's crazy. But I'm really interested. I'm so interested to get, and it's gonna be till December, man. But anyway, Satan, this has to be Satan, right? And I assume, like, you're a disgrace. He must be saying this to Ozzy, surely. Because I was thinking about it. Who does it matter to for Ozzy to reveal that, he's the guy who's not supposed to actually have feelings, not be in love with anybody, but he is. Who does that matter to, right? Because it can't mean that much for people below Ozzy's status to disapprove, because they're below him. It doesn't matter. Like, even if all of the Goetia are like, Osmodeus, like, what does it matter? He's above them. He's more powerful than who cares? And, like, especially, like, even lower than that, no, it doesn't matter. And there's only 3 people higher than the Sins. It's Lucifer, Lilith, and Charlie. Lilith isn't even here. Charlie and Lucifer also absolutely would not care even a little bit. And they've got their own stuff happening anyway. So it would make sense then that the only other, like, group it could possibly matter to, what Ozzy's up to, is other Sins. And, like, Mammon obviously only cared in that he might get something out of the information. B definitely would not care. We do not know anything about Belphegor or Leviathan. But it adds up that Satan would be the problem here. He's the wrath guy. I can see exactly, like, it makes sense he would be mad at Ozzy for... I wonder if it's going to be about disrespecting the sin he represents. Because that's what the problem with his relationship with Fizz is that he's not supposed to be like that, and he is. So I'm assuming that's going to be some of the conflict in this episode. I also hope it means we see Fizz in this episode. We're seeing him in Full Moon, presumably. Like, it would be weird if we didn't, based on outfits that we see. But it'd be cool to get more Fizz. He is apparently considered a main character now. Like, Alex Brightman was on the main character panel for Helluva Boss at Level Up. So, that'll be cool.
A bit out of your depth, aren't you, little ones?
God, so this is interesting. This is Millie fighting Blitz, and like we see later, it's definitely Blitz gets possessed. This guy is cool. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for the Ghost Fuckers episode. This is John Waters. I should have pointed out. I already forget the name of the guy who's clearly going to be Satan. It pops up in a minute. I'll get to it, but I'm actually like I'm very curious to learn what the circumstances are. Like, why is one of the envy fish demons, like, possessing people, dicking around, killing people in this hotel on Earth? Like, this episode, it's a really cool setup. Like, it's cool. This guy seems neat. I like John Waters is a cool voice. I think he's going to fit really well here. I've seen a lot of hear me outs for this guy, and it's like, I don't want to hear y'all out, guys. No thanks. But I'm actually really excited for this episode. Patrick Page, that's what it was. I didn't want to assume. I knew it was Page. I didn't want to just toss out a P name that was wrong. Patrick Page is probably Satan. That's cool. This is a cool, it's cool to get people like this in this.
Are so shitty!
Everyone's shitty! Hello, we live in hell!
Yeah, so that was Mammon. This is probably still the Lust Ring fight. Mammon. Yeah, like, it seems like same place as the other Goetia in presumably Sinsmith. So, like, what's happening exactly? I'm very curious. Like, why are the other Goetia here if this is going to be about Ozzy? Is there something more going on? But they're also like, we need to summon Stolas. Like, what is that about? Is there like a big wider thing? Are they going to be like... I'm curious. I'm very curious about what exactly the circumstances of these episodes are. Shoot.
You are so...
So, obviously, Verosika's still, like, I'm curious to learn more about her and Blitz, because she, like, it has to be over 6 years at this point since they've been broken up, and she still has so much hate and vitriol for him, and it's why. I'm really curious, because, you know, the thing she complained about to him in Spring Broken is a terrible thing to do to somebody, but it has to be more than just stealing, maxing out your credit card, driving, what did they say, like 3 rings to Wrath and spending it all on shitty horse riding lessons. Oh, Blitz. Oh, Blitz. But, yeah, like, Verosika, like, I'm also curious about this shot. Like, I assume this, it looks like Verosika is the one chopping into this. I don't know what's happening in the background there, like what's moving. But like she has a hole, and it seems like there's a shot later. This is going to be all about how much she hates Blitz, and it's like, why? Why are they up on the rafters together here? What's happening? What is freaking Blitz out? Because obviously these shots aren't going together. And then that his stupid eyeballs. So I'm also like, why are they around each other? Like, what are the circumstances? Why is Blitz wearing this weird robe with blood on it? I assume it's blood. It could just be a pattern. I'm assuming Blitz is going to apologize to Verosika, because it seems like he probably needs to. I'm curious if Verosika has anything she needs to apologize for. I'm sure they will. This seems like the episode where they'll work some things out. I'm curious how recurring she'll be beyond it. Surely she will, but like, if they manage to work anything out here, why would she recur again, you know? I'd be curious to see.
Hello, we live in hell!
Yeah, so Blitz is clearly possessed here. Presuming it is Blitz and it's not like a shapeshifter. Why does he look sad? That's funny, and then he gets punched. That's actually a very quick frame jump.
You always take...
Is that the same way that Chaz misspelled Moxie's name? I wonder if I guess you would kind of, if you're sounding it out, you'd assume it's spelled that way. This is also a funny shot. That's great. There's stupid stuff here on. I assume this is probably Ghostfuckers or Mastermind. Maybe Ghostfuckers. Maybe this is why Moxie isn't along with Millie and Blitz. That'd be kind of... Whatever the reason, I'm glad we're getting Millie and Blitz together on their own without Moxie, because I'm really curious to learn more about their relationship, which I can say more on later.
From those around you.
Okay, I'll go back in time so we can fully listen to the Millie line. This is what makes me... Because Blitz is wearing the outfit he has later in what is clearly going to be Full Moon, so Fizz is going to be in Full Moon. I assume Fizz is helping Blitz with some shopping. Like, Blitz is all excited to see Stolas. He's gonna go shopping for him. He's gonna get some. Give his stupid gigantic candle. So it's cool that Fizz is gonna be there. Gonna be like a wingman, I guess. I'm very curious if we're gonna get, like, is Blitz gonna turn to Fizz after things go sideways? Someone pointed out, because it's an Asmodean crystal, right? Blitz is gonna be able to understand that that's where Stolas got the crystal from. And he's like, is he gonna wonder if Fizz is aware? But I don't think that would... they said it as an angst potential thing, but I feel like Blitz would just be like, did you know? And Fizz would be like, yeah, I thought it was just a gift. What happened? You know, like, it wouldn't be... I don't think there's much angst potential there. Okay, so this is Millie line.
Oh, we live in hell!
You always take from those around you and leaving them worse and more broken than you found them.
We'll get to this. Yeah, clearly possessed Blitz. Jumping out of the pool, like the like this ratty hotel, like pool and whatever. Like, it seems like a really cool location. I'm really excited for this episode, honestly. Hold on. So Verosika's so fucking pretty, you guys. Holy shit. Wow, I'm gay. Moving on. Golly, I gotta move on. So, like, this definitely doesn't happen to Millie. Well, yeah, especially, actually, this is Ghost Fuckers. In Mastermind, she's obviously, like, I feel like I don't need to elaborate much on that, but yeah, she's gonna be fine. I'm curious... I'm assuming this is gonna be in reference to something in particular, right? Like, she's bound, she's been shot, you can see, she has a twig in her hair. Is this supposed to be Murder Family? I wonder if it's supposed to be Murder Family, if it's gonna be, like, a hallucination callback to that. Because I don't know what else it would be. That's the only time she's tied up, been shot at, there were trees there, and she got hit by glass. It must be a reference to Murder Family. So, yeah, because Millie would never say this to Blitz, and also she clearly would be dead at the moment, so it must be a hallucination thing. So I think Blitz is going to be tormented by a bunch of that, like with his mom. And again, we'll get into it in a moment. You have stuff to say. Verosika, hi, you're really pretty.
Found them.
Do you feel?
Ugh. So this is clearly Blitz is reaching for Stolas for some reason. I love this transition, by the way. What a good transition. That's awesome. Dude, that's so cool, actually. I'm curious the circumstances of this. Because Stolas is not the type to just portal Blitz out of there and make him go away. Like, he wouldn't do that under normal circumstances. So Blitz surely said something. I think Blitz, like, because, you know, he was screaming at Stolas a bit ago, we saw. I think Blitz is going to say something really regrettable to Stolas. I think that's part of why they're going to be on such awful terms. And it's like, I'm so, this episode's going to hurt so bad. And hold on.
Do you feel any kind of remorse for what you do?
So, first of all, interesting that Andrelphus, because first of all, this is Stolas' place. It's not Andrelphus' place. I guess he did some redecorating. But, yeah, he's clearly going to attack them, and I think that shot from earlier with Blitz with the sword, Andrelphus is definitely attacking. Like the Tile the Stones match, Andrelphus was attacking him. Oh, shoot, No, I turned the sound off! How'd that happen? No, get back here. Oops. Okay, so, but, do you feel any remorse for the things you do? And these other shots with Stolas in his robe, he's clearly, like, angry at Blitz. That earlier shot, I wonder if I can go back to it. Let me see. I don't know where the fuck it is. No, it's later in this. Hold on. Are we holding? Are we locked? I don't actually know where it is. Come on. Nah, it's over for me. I don't know where it is. Oh, well. But there's an earlier shot of him, and Blitz, like, smiles, even though Stolas seems kind of mad, so it's an interesting circumstance. But this line, do you feel any remorse for the things you do, or whatever you just said? It just... If Blitz says something really regrettable in Full Moon, I can see this happening either late in Full Moon or early in Apology Tour. However, this line feels so, I don't know, overly harsh for Stolas of all people to be saying. Like, this is a line that I would expect Verosika to drop, that I would expect Barbie to drop. Honestly, Moxie could drop this line after they have some worse interactions. Fizz, prior to making up, would have dropped this line, but Stolas? It's interesting for Stolas of all people to be dropping this line, because Blitz has not been bad to Stolas, really. Okay, so Blitz should have been more attentive to Stolas in the fact that they are both in love with each other and are kind of have not done a good job with communicating that, whatever. But all that's happened is Stolas thinks, at least, you know, where we're at now going into Full Moon, that Blitz doesn't love him. He wants him to and he hopes, but he thinks he probably doesn't. That's what's, like, Blitz has done. He hasn't hurt Stolas exactly. He's just made, like, Stolas had hopes for what their relationship was, and Blitz has kind of dashed them, but that's okay. That's not being bad to somebody, right? So it's just an interesting line for Stolas to be dropping. So I kind of suspect that maybe this isn't real. This is not like something that actually happens. This is the start of Blitz hallucinating. a big reason I think this is because of all people, like, there's a lot of people you want to use against Blitz if you're trying to emotionally torment him. And Stolas, even if you're on good terms or bad terms, is pretty high on that list for Blitz. You want to use Stolas against him if you're going to emotionally torment him. And I suspect that might be what's going on here. I think this is a hallucination. And it's, you know, like, and that's why Blitz, it seems like, isn't going to fully understand the situation, because I also think they're going to have made up by the end of Apology Tour. So he's going to assume things are fine. He's been misled, whatever. And he starts getting hit with all these, and he's going to start feeling awful. And I bet after this, he's going to start, that's when we're going to start cycling through, like, the thing with his mom, thing with Millie. We're going to get hit with a shot later that I think is going to happen. I think that's when that's going to occur. So that's my, like, I don't know if curveball guess is going to be the thing, but, like, I have talked myself into believing this does not happen in Full Moon or Apology Tour. This is a hallucination that happens later. Part of why is just, it seems extreme for Stolas to get to this point, like, genuinely, to say to Blitz, over the span of 2 episodes. Like, I think things would have to be going downhill a lot. I could be wrong, especially depending on what Blitz does say to Stolas in Full Moon. Because if Blitz says something that, like, some bad stuff that makes me go, ooh, then maybe. But I do think that's what I think. So, hold on.
For what you do.
You never loved Mother, and you...
Okay. I'm curious when we're going to see... I have a couple things to point out here, actually. I'm curious when we're going to see Stella. This shot is really interesting. I think I'm going to come back to it later. It's really interesting. But, yeah, we got to hear this Octavia line.
Mother, and you don't love me, you love him.
I'm really, really curious when this happens. This shot with Stolas, I think, is going to be might be during a song. Actually, wait, is he wearing the outfit, the Apology Tour outfit? This might be an Apology Tour. Yeah, and it's because the first picture that shatters is the nice Blitz, and all the others look angry. That sucks. Man, Stolas, I feel so bad. This shot with Octavia is interesting to me, because I don't know the circumstances of it. It looks odd. It stands out amongst everything else. And it looks like she's singing. I assume we're getting an Octavia song. I think that's one of the things that has, like, been floated around, that we know we're getting one. That might have been a leak. I know a lot of things have been leaked. I don't care about the leaks. That doesn't factor into anything. But it's also, like, it's really, you've had Barrett Wilbur Weed voicing this character, and it's taken you this long to have her sing. What? Anyway. This line from Octavia is really interesting. You've never loved Mother, and you don't love me, you love him. That's regressed from where we've seen her at before. It's gotten worse. I think Stolas, like, obviously Stolas is going to take after Full Moon. He's going to be broken down. He's going to be feeling awful. And I think it's going to come across as very neglectful to Octavia, and she's going to start feeling bad. Stella also might have kind of been turning her against Stolas a bit. Maybe, I'm not sure, because she was all like, oh, I'm not turning her against you, like in Seeing Stars. But I'm just interested, because I'm curious when this happens, because I think it must happen in Full Moon or Apology Tour. I slightly suspect Apology Tour, just because that feels like an episode where you'd have several different song bits, you know? So it might start off Apology Tour. And I do think that kind of line is what's going to get Stolas to be like, fuck, I do love him, and I kind of have to express it, because I'm going to be miserable without him. And it's affecting my daughter. I can't just try and move on, walk away, push this aside. It's not going to work. I think that's what this is going to lead into. I am curious how he's going to remedy things with Octavia this time, if he even does. He very well could not, and that's something he's going to have to do better on later. Because he keeps, as much as he's tried these other times, it hasn't, I think it seems like it hasn't stuck, right? Like, he loves his daughter so much, but everything that's going on with Blitz affects him so much that he's been kind of leaving her to the wayside, and it's affected her to the point where she's viewing it like, you've never loved... I do think the line, you never loved Mother, and you don't love me, is interesting, because it's expressing that... It's expressing, yes, you never loved Stella, but that you did love Octavia at some point. That, like, you loved me at some point. That's what she's saying. And she's saying that now he doesn't, and it's just... And I think that's key. Like, the language here is key, that it's not, oh, you've never cared about me. No, she recognizes he does. Or has, but thinks now he doesn't as much because it's all about Blitz. I think that's important. I think that's cool.
You love him.
I destroy everything. I make everyone's lives worse.
Ooh. Oh, those shots. That's obvious. I think that's a ghost fuckers thing. I think he's probably saying it to Millie. These shots are really interesting because I'm assuming... I didn't even notice he's moving around down in the bottom. I assume this is him being forced to watch his own awful memories by the fish guy. Like, these edge bits vaguely look like themed around the kind of fins it seems like he has, right? Like, that makes sense. And these are awful, man. Oh. Dude, I feel so bad for Fizz again. This is awful. Also, now we know for certain it was Cash that was keeping them apart. Fuck this guy. I hope he's dead. Or if he's not dead, that we can kill him. Golly, I don't like him. And it's interesting the shots from Ozzy's. That interests me. I do like this Verosika shot also, because the angle we get in Ozzy's, she looks angry, but that's about it. Here, she's clearly angry, but there's also a lot of hurt in her eyes. Like, just really, like, shout out to the animators and artists, man, that, like, there's so much being expressed. It's really good. I also think, well, redoing an angle we've already seen, but from another angle, a shot we've already seen, but from another angle, really good. Like, that's cool. Also, man, I make everyone's lives worse. Like, Blitz, please, man. I think that's part of why it's going to be good Millie's here, and I think that's why they immediately cut to this. Because this is clearly them meeting. Millie has shorter hair. Is she wearing a shirt? Yeah, she is. I was going to say you can't see scars, but that's because she's wearing a shirt. Also, there's portholes. Where the fuck are they? I'm really curious what the circumstances of this are. So I saw someone saying maybe, he might have bodyguarded for Verosika. That's why he knows Verosika. They ended up together. This is cool. Also, what a move. I see why people find, like, masculine Blitz hot. I don't like masculine people that much, but, like, if you do like masculine people, I see why this would appeal to you. Okay, what was this?
I don't want to be this way. Not forever.
Oh, Blitz. I'm assuming that feels like the sort of thing he might be saying to Verosika. Like, he's obviously, I think it's from this episode, and he's saying it, golly, Stolas, you're pretty. And he's wearing this thing. This moment, people have had a lot of thoughts about what's happening in this moment. I am of the side, like, these are not, the light in, he's, like, this is literal light they put in his eyes, but the light in his eyes, there's no way he's hearing something bad in this moment. I don't believe it. I don't believe Stolas is, like, first of all, Stolas would never, like, publicly shame him or anything. That's not happening. And it feels far more likely. And what I suspect is happening in Apology Tour, Stolas has realized, like, he feels awful, and I think he's going to be doing a whole song thing, I guess with Verosika, expressing how all his woes, how bad he feels, but not, like, it's not going to be, he's not going to mention Blitz yet. It's not, Blitz can tell it's about him, but he's not saying it. And then I think Stolas is going to start directly mentioning Blitz. Blitz is expecting it to be awful, and it's actually a confession. It's an apology, a confession, it's all of that. And that's what, I think these two shots do actually happen back to back. Like, I don't think they're misleading us here. I do think this actually happens. And I think, okay, I wanted to go back to that one from earlier. Let me see if I can even find it. This one, yeah. I think this probably happens after, it was before, hold on. This probably happens after. And this is, he's obviously talking to Blitz, and I'm just so, like, Stolas, what does he look up? He looks up, right? I'm wondering if Stolas gets down there, he starts saying to things to Blitz, and then Blitz says something to him, and that's why he looks up like that. I think they're going to make up. I don't know if they're, like, getting together might take more time, but I think they're going to make up an apology tour. I think Stolas is going to apologize, be finally open about his feelings, because I think that's the biggest mistake Stolas makes. And I'll get into, I have a big thing to elaborate on in a moment with that. Here the episodes pop up, and then we get this last
Thank you,
line.
Blitz, for making me so happy, even if only for a little while.
I do know this shot with the flowers from the duet. Can we go further back, please? Come on. Golly, I hate... Going frame by frame is great sometimes than annoying others. Yeah, I think this is when we're about to start... I assume about to start leading to... Like, Verosika's prepared for, it says Blitz sucks in the back. She, like, ready... Stolas is here because it's supposed to be about how much Blitz sucks. And I don't think Stolas would do that. And I don't think he's going to bring himself to do that. I think he's going to turn it around and be like, surprise, I actually love him so much. I'm really excited to hear more of Bryce singing. He's so good. This line. Thanks for making me so happy, even if only for a little while. I think the line earlier, he's like, this transactional thing between us, it isn't right. And then, thanks for making me so happy, even for only a little while. I think he's fucking up with his language choices, because we know Stolas wants Blitz to choose him, but he doesn't want to force him into anything. And I think Stolas is therefore not going to say he has feelings for Blitz in Full Moon, because he wants Blitz to choose him of his own accord. And I think, I'm assuming in Stolas' mind, he shouldn't influence that by saying something like, hey, I'm in love with you. Which is stupid as fuck, Stolas. But anyway, I suspect that's what's happening. And his language choice, I think, is going to screw everything up. Because by saying this transactional thing between us isn't right, Stolas does think of himself as the problem. He thinks he's at fault. But by saying it that way, it doesn't imply that, right? It does not imply I think I'm at fault. And I can see exactly why Blitz would kind of take it as he's the one being blamed. Like, hey, this thing isn't right. Because, Blitz, I could imagine Blitz feels even a little bit guilty about having used Stolas this way as well. Maybe, I don't know. But, like, it is a transactional thing that is maybe not the healthiest, and I'm sure Blitz would... Because Blitz is going to blame himself for things. And getting hit with that, and then getting hit with this thing was like, oh, thanks for making me happy for a little bit. It's like, I can see why Blitz is going to feel played with. And I think, like, Stolas, man, this is why I think that's what's going to happen. This is all going to fall apart in Full Moon. And then I think in Apology Tour, it's going to pick back up. I think Blitz is going to work through some things with Verosika that are going to help with working through things with Stolas. And Stolas is going to have, I think the Octavia stuff is going to have gone down. Stolas is going to have realized some things, and he's going to finally be properly open about his feelings. And that's what's going to allow these two to be able to move forward. Because I think by Sinsmas, I don't know. I kind of expect them to get together by the end of the season. Maybe not by the end of Apology Tour, but it feels like they're going to be together officially by the end of the season. There's a lot of really interesting stuff I think they're going to be able to do in going into season 3 and then eventually 4, having these two actually together. You could even actually have them be together and do a breakup. I would cry, but you have options by having them be together. So I don't think you should drag out not having them officially be together too long. It might even make sense for Sinsmas where they, collectively, like, work through some things with Ozzy and Fizz and where, like, and it's like, okay, now Stolas and Blitz maybe feel a little better about being able to declare that they're together as well. I'm really interested. There's so much here, man. I'm so excited. Yeah, I think I'm out of things to, like, go on about. I'm just excited, man. Like, oh, actually, wait, I had one more thing I wanted to, because where did it show the dates?
Thank you, Blitz, for making me so happy, even if only for a little while.
Gosh, he sounds so sad. Anyway, Another part of why I think things will resolve by Apology Tour is the fact that we're getting Full Moon this month and then Apology Tour the next month, but then a huge gap before everything else. It would make sense you have essentially two halves of one, like the big part of this story happen now, and then these other things that don't deal with it near as directly later. Because Ghostfuckers is probably going to be its own thing. It's probably going to be Blitz. I'd like to be ready for Stolas, but he feels so awful that maybe he's not ready. That might be what that's about. Mastermind, I'm not sure we'll touch on that too much. And then Sinsmith, I think we bring it back around. We do some of the Aussie stuff, and that's what's happening there. That's also part of why I kind of suspect the scenes of Stolas in the robe being all sassy and regret the things, whatever is happening in Ghostfuckers. Because it feels like such a big thing, right? Like, that's a huge thing for Stolas to be saying, dropping on someone. It'd just be crazy for a pivot like that to go from that happens start of Apology Tour to him looking so nice and soft and like talking to Blitz by the end of it. It could happen, but I've planted it. I am saying that actually happens in Ghostfuckers. I think things are actually... A lot of people are expecting a lot of angst through Full Moon and Apology Tour, and I think there's going to be less than people think, at least through Apology Tour. I do think Full Moon is going to destroy us all emotionally. I'm so not prepared, and who knows when it's dropping this month. I hope not, like, so soon that I don't get this stupid video out, but, like, oh no, dude. Oh, boy. But, okay, I think I'm finally done now. I might remember thoughts I wanted to go over, like, later, but, like, I'm done, okay? I've got this. I don't even know how long this has turned out. Probably pretty long, actually, jeez. I hope this is interesting, you know, me rambling about the trailer. I'm just being autistic. That's what this whole channel is, anyway, just me getting to be autistic. But thank you for watching. And, yeah, we've got some fun Helluva Boss stuff coming up, clearly. So, I'm excited for the rest of the year. See y'all.